Hello, everyone. My name is Danny. This is my review for the movie called Quest. Underneath the title, it says A Portrait of an American Family. But if you were to look it up under Quest, I think you'd be able to find it. Filmed with intimacy for nearly a decade, Quest is the moving portrait of the Rainey family living in North Philadelphia. Beginning at the dawn of the Obama presidency, Christopher Quest Rainey and his wife, Christina, raised a family while nurturing a community of hip-hop artists in their home music studio. It's a safe space where all are welcome, but this creative sanctuary can't always shield them from the strife that grips their neighborhood. Epic in scope, Quest is a vivid illumination of race and class in America, and a testament to love, healing, and hope. This is a 2017 film, runs 105 minutes. I'm assuming since it's a documentary, it doesn't really have a rating. Has all kinds of stuff on here from Los Angeles Times, Rolling Stone, San Francisco Chronicle, the Philadelphia Inquirer, Variety, the New York Times, Sundance Festival. I'm guessing that's why it got put to DVD, so that they could spread their message a little bit further than what it could have been. You know, they got attached to all these different sources, and once it got shown at the Sundance Festival, I'm sure it became a huge hit. So, yeah, this does kind of involve the Rainey family. There's no real star in it. So, first off, for anybody, if this is like your first video of mine you're watching ever, I don't like watching documentaries. The second I realize it, and I actually have started the movie, and I realize it's a documentary, I just turn it off. I just go to the next movie on my list. I don't want to waste my time. I started watching this, and then I realized it's what is called a documentary, but it was so much more enticing than what I think of as a documentary, so that's why I watched the whole thing. It gripped me right at the beginning. I think it'll grip you too. I think you should at least give it a chance to watch the whole thing. I think it's a pretty darn good movie, so that's why I decided to give it a chance. I wouldn't really specify it as a documentary per se, even though it chronologically involves a family over a course of time. It doesn't go every second, very boring like a documentary, and that's why I thought it was more interesting, I think. Well, that said, that it doesn't remind me of documentaries. It was a documentary, and so I just kind of wrote down all the heavy subjects that it covers, and then I might just detail some things I thought were interesting. The heavy subjects that this movie involves and why it kept being interesting, it has to, on the back of the sleeve, it does talk about how this movie kind of starts its storyline when Obama is getting elected, and everybody's so happy and they think times are going to be good, and their life kind of just has normal problems and normal hardships. And so I don't know if that's supposed to be ironic, because that's kind of how us normal Americans think of things, is that, yeah, Obama was a great president, but he brought us through what was a really hard time of our history, so did we really have it all that good? Were things all that great? And then all the school shootings that Obama had to deal with, and that this country endured, movie theater shootings and shootings in neighborhoods, and just, it's tough to have to live through this, more or less have to be a president of it. And this movie is about the Rayleigh's kind of story, and so the fact that they have to deal with a shooting and have to watch on TV all the news of all these other shootings, It just kind of, I think what the message of the movie is trying to cross is that things have never really been all that great. Whenever they seem fine, that means we're comfortable. But then things are always so bad because we have things like school shootings. And then the fact that they have their own neighborhood shooting just makes things even worse. It's kind of the main point of the movie for the first three-fourths of it. And so I just think it makes it hard for them to realize that, that things keep coming. You have to endure no matter what. You have to be thankful for what you have, that people are still around if they do get shot. A lot of things just kind of happen, and I like how they portrayed that, but I think that the darker message here is that things do happen to good and to bad people. There's really a fine line between what good and bad people are, and that we all just need to kind of take it on the chin because we all live our own lives and we all have to deal with the own cards that we're dealt. I'm not really sure how much of an important character this guy was, but there's a guy in this movie that was dealing with cancer. I think that was the next heavy subject that they felt like they had to cover. He ends up dealing with the cancer, and eventually in the movie, he lets us know that he has been clean of it, that he doesn't show any signs of any cancer, and that's, all glory to God and everything, but I'm kind of wondering why they stuck it into the movie, if it's to show that people who think they're done, you can't always be in that mindset that something might happen to you and you might come through it on the brighter side of things. And then what's your life going to be like if you thought the whole time along the way that you're going to die, and so that's kind of what this guy was. He was kind of the picture of somebody who thought, oh, well, this is inevitable. And so maybe the message there is just to think more positively. I'm not really sure. And he was kind of a minor character that I didn't really get. They just kind of plugged him in there every once in a while. And then one of the main characters decides or reveals in her life that she is gay, and so it gets to cover that subject. And I don't like how they handled it. They didn't really talk to her about her decisions. They didn't really talk to her about, people are making fun of her or she got pressured into it. This girl happens to talk to the camera with the crowd a little bit about it, but not to her parents. And since this was still a movie, I kind of wanted the family to interact a little bit better other than talking behind her back, the parents did. And that's all we really got of conversation. So if this movie wanted to address that issue, I just wish they would have presented it a little bit better and handled it a little bit better. The last thing I just want to say is that I'm not saying this as any kind of hindrance to the issue, but it does mention Trump at the end of the movie because it wants to be actually correct to its timeline, I suppose. And I'm a little surprised that they didn't get into the issues like they did at the beginning of the movie when they were so happy that Obama won. And I wish they would have got some more reaction other than maybe 2 comments when somebody's watching TV of a Trump press conference. This was a really real movie, but because it's technically a documentary, but I felt like it could have been a lot more real, and it could have gotten some opinions about Trump at the end. It could have gotten some reaction of him actually getting the presidency at the end, if it's going to bring it up, carry it through. I felt like more conversation could have been had on some issues. I didn't feel like they needed so much background noise of the rappers at the music studio. It's great that that was part of the Rainey's live, but I just felt like it was a little bit too excessive of unnecessary material in your movie, and you have to kind of pick and choose. I just would have preferred less of the rapping stuff because you were covering all these serious, really commitful issues. I just wish you would have put more time and effort towards that. So, other than that, I'm kind of just, like I said, as more of a movie than a documentary, and I kind of enjoyed it. So I'm going to give Quest a B minus. I thought it was pretty darn good, and obviously the time and effort that went into this, and all the people that have watched it along the way and given reviews to it are all praising it. So it came up on my list. I watched the whole thing. It covers a lot of different issues, maybe a little bit biting off a little bit more than it can chew. But all in all, the characters and the storyline are all kind of valid, and they kind of flow. So I appreciated it. So B minus for Quest. My name is Danny. If you like this or any of my other reviews, try and give some of them a watch. Like and subscribe to my channel if you would. And thanks a lot for watching. Enjoy movies, guys.